Well, good afternoon, Michiganders. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. And we'll go ahead and get started with this. Going to be going over a few new data points we have so far for the snow potential for tomorrow. If you guys have been watching our page, we just posted something about half hour ago or so. All right, awesome, guys. Thank you. Honestly, we have little guidance to go off of for a sound forecast at this point in time. Hopefully that changes tomorrow. Wow. Hopefully that changes this afternoon here with the latest model guidance that continues to roll in. But overall, the timing and stuff like that in areas are generally speaking still the same. Let's go ahead and break this down. So we have a couple models we're going to look at here, but we're going to use one mainly for the timing. That's the HRRR model. Looking off to the west here, overnight tonight, we're seeing the snow fill in Wisconsin here, reaching across over into Michigan. It arrives in Michigan roughly 5 a.m. Okay, it could be as early as 4 or as late as 6 or 7, but roughly that 5 a.m. time frame is when you guys should be starting to look for the snow in West Michigan. It'll take some time to work across into East Michigan, but overall, the early morning time frame tomorrow, watch for this first snowflakes. Now, that snow will continue to overspread almost the entire state tomorrow through the morning hours, and it will exit the state by the late evening hours, roughly probably 10 p.m. Could be as late as midnight. This is midnight right here. We still have some snow lingering in the state here. So roughly an all-day type of snow from sunrise to sunset into the early Saturday morning hours. Now, it's not going to be too heavy. It's not going to snow like cats and dogs. It's going to be a pretty steady snow. But the only thing we're going to be looking at is where the heaviest snow is going to set up. Now, what I mean by that, I'll switch you over here to a few different models. So this is, we're going to use the HRRR model first. So the HRRR model, how can I answer that? The HRRR model is more aggressive than any other model that we have on here. I'll show you guys why here in a second. If I can find Michigan, there's Michigan, and hop over here to the surface winter and click the snow total map. Here we go. We're going to go back to 12Z. That's 13. I want 12Z. There we go. Now, if we run this through the time period here, we're going to see lake effect snow still ongoing up here in the UP. This snow is likely going to affect the lower peninsula more than it is the upper peninsula, but more lake effect is possible up there as we get into the weekend. But overall, check out your snow totals down here in the lower part of Michigan here. These pinks and purples are 8+ inches. Now, I think that's aggressive and overdone. I don't think this model is correct on these snow amounts. I'm not going to say it's impossible, but I don't think we're going to get a foot of snow. I just don't think it's going to happen. The reason I'm showing you guys this model is check out the placement of this swath of snow here. It is just north of I-94. So south of Grand Rapids, basically from, let's pull up a map here so I can give out some locations. This model here has this heaviest snow swath from roughly Holland to Lansing over to the Sterling Heights, Macomb County area. Okay? Now, check out what happens when I switch over to the NAM model. The NAM model says, no, we're going to shift this 100 to 200 miles to your north. And this model has the heaviest swath up by Ludington over toward the Mount Pleasant, Houghton Lake, Tri-Cities area. And again, this model does still show a good portion of the heaviest swath here above 8 inches of snow. So I think the 8-inch mark is a good point to look at, but overall, that is a significant difference between these models here. So where's it going to end up? Me and Alex here do the forecast, so we coordinate quite often, and we're both kind of in agreement that the RRFS model is more so an accurate depiction. We think a middle ground point here, basically from Lansing up to Mount Pleasant, is going to be where that heaviest swath is going to set up. Is that going to be a for sure cemented thing? No. Okay, we are not confident. We just have the gut instinct from what we know about these systems, what we've been looking at with model biases in the spring so far. We just think that, number one, the 8+ is too aggressive, but also that north is too aggressive and that further south is a little bit too aggressive. A good middle point here is going to be probably a 3 to 6 inch plus forecast with probably going to be 4 to 7, honestly. But overall, could see higher accumulations possible. And that's going to set up roughly from Mount Pleasant to Lansing, in between from Lake Michigan to Canada. So the RFS model here, I think, is a really good depiction of that. I think that the RFS model has done really good this spring. It didn't do well last winter, but for this winter, it's doing fairly okay. So this is likely going to be reflective of our forecast we're going to release a little bit later today. We're going to be posting that after the afternoon models come in, so we have more confidence. But overall, all-day snow event. It's not going to be a heavy snow. It's going to be a light, steady snow. It's going to accumulate over the course of the entire day. It's going to be a little bit lighter in terms of weight. It's going to be a little bit lighter than we thought. Some temperatures are kind of becoming colder, so we're not going to be talking about the heavy, wet snow. We're going to be talking about that lighter, fluffier type of snow. The further south you go, it could get a little bit heavier just because the warmer air is further south. But overall, we're used to this here in Michigan. This is nothing to panic about. There's nothing to really get overly dramatically concerned about. It's just going to be a 3 to 6 plus inch type of snow. In terms of school closing, I see a lot of comments asking for school closings. I have no idea, guys. It's going to depend on where the heaviest snow is going to set up. But I could definitely see some snow days. For tomorrow. I'm thinking it's Friday, so you're not gonna have snow days on Saturday. But I think there's a possibility we could see some schools close for tomorrow, especially on the west side of Michigan, just because that's when it's going to start accumulating faster. But again, I think if schools were to go, they'd be okay. It's not going to be like a huge snowstorm. What's up, Chris? Look through some comments here. Scroll back through. Not many questions here, guys. So I think I covered pretty much everything here. The secondary system we're watching for the weekend does continue to be on track to miss us, or not miss us, but miss most of the state to the north. The UP and possibly northern lower may hop in some snow for that secondary system. Running this through the time frame here. Here's our system that comes through tomorrow. We look to the west here. Here's that secondary system here. This is Sunday evening, about 5 p.m. We see snow up in the UP, and parts of northern Michigan might get on the action there too. But that low pressure, the center of it out here, starts lifting north, and that basically pushes that snow further north into Canada, into the UP there, and also leaves Michigan, majority of the lower Michigan, in rain. This is going to be for the Sunday, Monday time frame. We could squeak out a thunderstorm on Monday if all goes well in the lower part of Michigan. But overall, it's just going to be a rain for the majority of the state. The UP, though, I think they'll be pretty happy. The accumulations that we're seeing right now for the UP do look to be pretty significant in terms of snowfall. We're talking probably 8 inches or so for the UP there. So that's going to be all said and done between now and then. So UP will get some good snow action. This is going to start Friday, tomorrow morning, roughly 5 a.m. from Grand Blanc, probably a little bit later, closer to maybe 10 a.m. to noon. The first snowflakes will be starting to fall in West Michigan, roughly 5 a.m., give or take an hour or two. You should be, Tammy, to be okay to fly out of there. It's going to be cutting the first snowflakes close. I don't think it'll accumulate too much to cause many delays, if any delays at all. I think you're going to be good to go at 8 a.m. Yeah, winter is pretty much over. This is really the last hurrah, I think. As we get into April, it warms. Some models say mid-April could be cooling down a little bit, but overall, I think this is the last bit of winter we're going to have here in the state. I think we're going to be pretty much done with it. And if you haven't seen, we just posted the 3-month outlook that just got released today, which puts Michigan, April, May, and June in a above-average contour. So with that being said, we're probably looking for an above average spring, which is pretty in line with what we've been thinking. So it's definitely possible, Tyler. It's definitely possible. There's uncertainty with this is really high. Our confidence is really low. We could see it track further south. We could see it track further north. At this point, we just don't know. If you guys, watch any, local news or any other pages here in Michigan or around the region, if anybody tells you they know what's going to happen, they're lying. This is a fluid forecast, and we just don't know. All we have to go off of is our gut instinct, what we know about these models, what we know about these types of systems. That's all we have to go off of. So we can get a good idea, but we can't nail this down 110% like we want to. The ground temperatures are okay, Michigan native. As far as surface temperatures, though, let's take a peek at that. Roughly going to be in Southwest Michigan there, roughly the 32-degree mark. We see this is today, looking into tomorrow. There's tomorrow. We're at 30 for Kalamazoo. We warm up 33, 36, and that's about it. But if that warm air comes in further north, then that shifts the entire snow further north as well. So Kalamazoo is a 36. That's the highest I see there for Southwest. Any questions, guys? Devin, I think that you guys may have a chance there in South Haven. Your guys are right on that edge of that southernmost track that we're kind of thinking. So if it tracks a little bit further south, then yeah, you're probably going to be in that good 2 to 4 inch. But again, that could track further north, and you guys might be in that more rain solution too. So it's just wait and see, I guess. Coldwater is further south on all these models. Don't expect much in the way of any snow there for Coldwater. Yes, snow in the thumb is likely. Melissa, we will likely, if anything significant changes or we have a better idea, we'll likely go live again tonight at like 7 or 8 o'clock or so. The reason I'm going live right now is because we have so many comments and messages asking us certain questions. I figured it'd be easier to hop on live stream and then direct people to the live stream to really get an idea. Overall, we just don't know yet, but it's coming into a little bit finer picture. I think it's going to be between that Mount Pleasant and Lansing area for the heaviest swath. But again, if anything changes, we'll likely go live again tonight. In fact, let's just go ahead and plan to go live. I had nothing going on tonight. Let's go ahead and plan to go live like 7:30 or so. We'll go over our forecast, what we think, and just updated models because we have models coming out still right now into the afternoon. So we'll have a lot more guidance here to go off of, but not expecting much to change between everything. Hopefully they come into agreement, but right now it's just not looking likely. Lansing, you could get anywhere from, I'd say, a dusting up to like 4 inches, depending on how this tracks. But you should see some snow there in Lansing. Did I miss anything here? How about the UP? The UP is not going to get in on the system very much at all. Although you guys do have that second system to watch out for. You could get 8+ with that system on Sunday, Monday area or time frame. But with this system, not much for you guys up there. What about Fowlerville? Fowlerville is going to be right on that edge there. We could see a dusting up to 4 inches or so. Could see more than that if it tracks further south. But I would expect to definitely get some snow there in Fowlerville for you guys. Spring break starts tomorrow. Those temp digits are supposed to be 60. Just wait another week or so. We'll be back into the 50s for sure next week. I think spring is knocking on the door here. We're going to be in the warmer temperatures really quickly. What kind of snow is West Branch getting? I would expect more of a lighter and fluffier snow. But if you're further south, closer to the 94 corridor, I would expect a more heavier, wet type of snow. Temperatures are more marginal, closer to freezing down further south. They're colder further north. So to support a more fluffy snow to the north and a more wetter type of snow to the south. Grand Rapids, I'm going to go ahead and say 3 to 6+ for you, Adam. Time frame on this is going to be starting. If you're in the UP, you'll get some snowflakes probably overnight tonight, like after midnight. But West Michigan, for the majority of where this is going to fall, is going to be probably closer to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's going to end by late evening. See, what about White Cloud? White Cloud, I'd expect you guys to get on the action here with snow. I'm going to say probably 2 to 4 or 3 to 6 for you. If this tracks further north, you could see a much higher total. It's just going to be exactly where that heaviest swath is going to fall. I think it'll fall just to your south, though. Big Rapids, I would say the same thing. I'm thinking you're going to get snow with this, but I think the heaviest is going to be off just to your south. Inkster is a little bit too far south. You may get some snow, but it's going to likely mix with rain, so it'll be slushy if anything does accumulate. All right, guys. With that being said, that's all I got for you guys. We'll go live again. Let's go ahead and plan 7:30 or so. We'll go ahead and go live again with our forecast thoughts with our map and stuff like that. We'll go over models again. Overall, synopsis: snow begins early tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. around that time frame, give or take an hour or so. Snow will fall pretty much all day as a lighter type of snow. Not going to be a heavy, whiteout condition type of, situation here. It'll fall over a longer period. Nailing down the track of this is going to be the hardest. Looking at, again, the model here, this is what we think is going to be the most likely solution. This is the RRFS model, but if we switch over here to the HRRR model, we're going to see a more aggressive solution here, as well as a further south solution. And it just took it away from me. I don't know why. I'll go ahead and do this again. There it is. This is a further south solution here, a much aggressive solution, much more aggressive solution. This is the HRRR model. And then we switch over here to the NAM model, and we're going to see a significant shift to the north. So overall, nailing this down is going to be the hardest part of the forecast. But again, 3 to 6 plus, probably going to see areas hit 8 inches, maybe more, although I don't think it's going to be that much more than 8. Overall, nailing that down is going to be the key. It could be as far north as Mount Pleasant or as far south as Lansing. So hopefully the afternoon models today sort this out. We'll have a better idea tonight when we go live again. But otherwise, expect a fluid forecast with anything possible if you're in this central lower Michigan area. So with that being said, I'm going to hop off here, guys. I'll see you guys at 7:30 tonight. Stay safe.